Ladies and gentlemen, this is Robertson, also known as Baraban here, just bringing you a quick channel update to let you guys all know that I finally passed 1,000 subscribers! So this is just to say a heartfelt thanks to all my amazing subscribers, and indeed to all the viewers out there that have passed my channel on to all their friends to enjoy also. Without all your support, this would not have been possible, so once again, thank you very much, you guys are all awesome. As most of you have probably already realised, Season 3 of Space Engineers Into the Unknown is already well underway, with the first 2 episodes already released at the time of this video. As with the last 2 seasons, I am hoping to have around 13 episodes altogether, but this may vary depending on how things progress. There may be more, or there may be less. As my esteemed colleague Billy Hyde has noticed, there's slightly more work involved in this season, as you probably have already clocked with the additional characters and settings we've seen so far, and indeed this is set to continue throughout the series. John and I began working on the planet the majority of Season 3 is due to set on about 4 months ago, so if all goes according to plan, once it appears within the next few episodes, it should be sufficiently fleshed out to contribute significantly to the overall story. Regarding all the messages I've received regarding Benson's absence, without giving too much away of course, and after reading some of the comments in my last video, and I know that some of you have already figured this out, let's just say that Into the Unknown wouldn't be Into the Unknown without Benson. Well, now that there's a whole new batch of people watching the series, I guess it's time I also went over a few frequently asked questions that many of you might have missed over the last few years. So I'll just go over them briefly so that everyone is more or less on the same page. First off, why does John use a computerized program to speak in-game? Well, that's because Benson is supposed to be an AI program, and not a particularly advanced one as far as other sci-fi series go, so it makes sense that he talks the way he does. Plus, John doesn't really want to use his own voice too much in my series, as he politely wants my character to be the main focus, and knows that a lot of people will recognise him and might just watch the series because he's in it. A few people already recognised him from his voice in one of the teaser videos, but that was just a one-off thing and he'll be sticking with Benson for the rest of the series, and as usual his lines in Skype will be dubbed over. Secondly, due to its presentation as footage from a recording device, Space Engineers Into the Unknown has no musical score or soundtrack playing in the background, with the exception of cinematic trailers and prologue videos. Yeah, having music blasting out of the speakers and a crazy guy's voice shouting in the background, "America, hell yeah!" with explosions and crap going on just wouldn't really fit in with the overall theme we're aiming for. It's nice that some of the newer viewers and subscribers are giving me links to their friends' royalty-free music sites, but honestly, I don't really have much interest in that at this time, as I already do tend to have my own list of preferred sources, or use the game's own soundtrack, providing of course it doesn't contain any copyrighted material. But if people keep spamming or forcing the issue, then they'll just find themselves being hidden from the channel, which in essence means being shadow banned, which sadly I've already had to do for a few offending individuals. Luckily, the vast majority of people tend to be relatively well behaved once they know what the deal is. Thirdly, there's very few mods in use, and this is because we try to keep things as vanilla as possible. Yes, there are a few select mods and scripts that I use throughout the series, but these tend to be quite small and are usually from trusted modders and scripters like Drago Corvan, Sectan, Whiplash, Cython, Alysius and MMaster, as it's been proven that those guys not only know what the hell they're doing, but they also tend to support their mods as much as possible and update them whenever they can. I'm sure most experienced Space Engineers players out there are now more than familiar with the sheer amount of potentially great mods in the workshop, which seem to have been abandoned, picked up by another author, only to be abandoned yet again, which means that each time Keen updates Space Engineers, you're playing a game of Russian roulette as to whether or not that mod still works. And sometimes it can be months, if not years or ever in some cases, that a mod actually does get fixed. and having a mod that worked for a few episodes suddenly vanish later on in the series can be a little immersion breaking for those that are watching, as well as annoying for those of us that have become accustomed to using it, which is why we try to keep the list of mods we use as little as possible. And lastly, as many of you here are already aware, the story of Into the Unknown series has already been written and most episodes are recorded about a week, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks in advance. So unfortunately, most of the suggestions and recommendations that are posted on the comment section will not be implemented, as what you're watching is essentially something that's happened in our past. The good news is that sometimes during a break in the series we'll ask the viewers for feedback, usually for a ship name or something, so there will still be some degree of interaction. Also bear in mind that John is unwell and has his own channel and projects that he works on while he is still able, and I myself am busy working away from home at this moment, which means that the videos that are released do tend to be a little sporadic at best, with sometimes as much as a month between them. But this is something that can't really be helped given our individual circumstances, but I am grateful indeed for all the support and patience shown by my core subscribers. Now, with regards to the other games I've been playing recently, I've actually purchased Ark Survival Evolved for half price during the Steam sale a few weeks ago. Yeah, the game's good, but there was no way I was going to pay £50 for it. $25 seemed more than reasonable given how buggy and unfinished it is. But saying that, I have been having some fun playing it during what little spare time I have. As with Empyrean Galactic Survival, it's not likely I'll be releasing any videos or doing a series on it anytime soon, but I'm certainly not ruling it out for the future if there's enough interest. Anyway, that about wraps things up for this update video. I'll probably do another around Christmas time along with the Q&A segment, so if anyone here has any questions they'd like to ask, either about the channel, games, content or me, then please feel free to either post them in the comment section below or message me directly and I'll pick the best ones to answer in the next update video. Well, once again guys, thanks very much for all the support you've shown me over the last few years and for pushing this new channel of mine past the 1000 subscriber mark. You guys really are the best, and I look forward to hearing back from you all in the next video. As always, this is Robertson, signing off.